Thing you want to do is place your lining on your fabric and pin them together like so, like I've done. And basically you could see I prefer to cut right sides together, or rather wrong sides together on a fold rather than the right side together. But anyway, you know what I mean. This is the wrong side of my fabric and that's the right side, so it's placed on fold, and here is the fold on this side, and this is my lining on my fabric. So now I'm going to place my pattern. So I created this pattern myself, and with some newspapers that are obviously not important anymore. So I created this pattern myself, and it fits me. It's to my size. I'm a size 12, but it's slightly big, but I always allow for large seam allowance just in case it doesn't fit properly, then I can make it to my shape anyway. So what I've done is I've folded my pattern. I folded my pattern this way. So if I take out the tape here and extend it, it's going to go a lot longer. So this is a multi-purpose pattern anyway. So I've made it a lot shorter for the front bodice of the blouse. So you cut one piece of each, and we'll continue from there. Pinned my pattern on my fabric. So what you're going to do is do not cut this neck hole for any reason. So I'm going to cut the fabric from here all the way down to the sleeve this way, and I'm going to go all the way down here and cut it that way. I'll show you when I'm done. This is the pattern piece I've cut, and I'm gonna open it up through and I'll be back. I'm gonna take your scissors and kind of curve this all the way from here to get to about here. That's what you're gonna do. For the back bit, what you want to do is, I'm not sure if you can see this because I've used white chalk, hopefully you can. So you're going to trace like on a fold, you're going to trace an A-line shape and cut it up, because basically you want to have like a little pleat at the back, but it all depends. I'm going to try and do this in such a way that you understand it, because the other top I made it off a circle skirt which I did earlier. So I got tired of wearing the circle skirt and I decided to make it into a top. So hopefully this should work. It's basically letting you know the concept of what I did. So I'm going to cut this out and we'll be back. So you want to make the bottom piece of your blouse. What you want to do is make a half circle skirt pattern. But what I did was I basically freestyled this coat. So you want to take the measurement of your waist and divide by 4. Mine is 34. Divided by 4 is 8.5. Add your seam allowance. And remember, you're going to have a little bit of pleats as well. So you're going to place this on fold. Placing this on fold and cut. I decided to go for 10 because I want my pleats to be quite full. So you cut one piece of that. And for the shorter section of your blouse, you do similar. Place on fold, cut one piece, and you hem all the sides. So you hem this bit, you hem this bit and that bit, and you hem all this bit all around it. I will be back. So for the back bit which has been cut already, what you're going to do is to place it on the fold and cut it off. This is what I've done. Cut it off into 2 equal portions, and you want to place your zipper. I'm using this pretty zip which I got from the knitting and stitching show at Alexandra Palace in the UK. So place your zipper about this way, make a mark here. So you're going to run your big stitch on your machine all the way here, and use the tiniest stitch for this bit, because you're going to undo this section here to let the zip run. So you do that and we'll be back. So once you've stitched both sides of the skirt together, you need to place your zip right at the middle of it, like so, and stitch on both sides. Because my zip is fancy and I want it to be visible on the outside, I've placed it right on top of the fabric so that I can easily, so it can be seen basically, and this is what I've done. So at the top bit here, I've folded it into two and I've stitched all along. Hi, I made an earlier video that didn't save, so I'm sorry because I've already run a stitch across the sides I wanted to show you. But anyway, I'll try my best to explain. So what I've done basically is have my fabric facing right side up, and I cut two strips of 16 inches elastic band. And what I did was have my fabric facing right side up, placed in the elastic band just at this corner here on both sides, then had my lining right on top, and I ran a stitch all the way from here down there and all the way to here. So that's what I've done for the top bodice part. And the next step for this would be to add my dots. So I'm going to add dots right at this point here and another dot right at this point. Basically adding the dot gives it more shape and structure. So I'm going to do that and we'll be back. So I kind of tried the bodice on just to see how it fits, like in terms of the length, if it's at the right length, and I noticed that it's quite long, so I had to chop off about 2 inches off, which is fine. So now I'm left with about 6.5 inches from the armhole all the way down. The other ½ inch is going to be used for my seam allowance for this bottom bit. So basically all the way here 6.5 inches. So I'm going to do the dots and I'll be back just at this point here. Well, I'll prefer to do the dots single-handedly with just my fabric first, my right fabric first. Place the dots, and but remember, you're not going to do the dots here because this is the front bit. I'm going to flip this around and have my dot done this way. So this is where I'm going to sew my dots. So I'm going to do that bit and I'll be back. So I've pinned my dots. From here to here, from the side seam to my dot is about 5 inches or 5.5 inches long, while from my dot up to the length of my dot is about 3 inches. So I forgot to mention, once you're done sewing this bit, you need to clip all the sides so that it curves properly, right? And I haven't clipped the front bit yet, but I'm not sure if I'll need to, but I'm going to turn it inside out, try it on and see if I need to clip it or not. Otherwise I'm going to let it be that way. So stitch your dot and we'll be back to the next step. The next step will be to cut 2 strips of fabric from your main fabric, and basically it's just to extend the elastic band. This style is a little bit different from the previous style I've done. So if you want to use just elastic bands, you can use 20 inches or say 25 inches of elastic band strips. I use 16 inches for this one, so I'm going to add this bit of extra, roughly 7 inches by 6 inches, so it's basically going to cap the elastic band. I'm going to fold them into half, right sides together. I'm going to run the stitch all the way around, and for both of them then we'll go on to the next step. So the next step is to once you've stitched the sides of those 2 pieces you cut out for your elastic, you want to iron it. So that's the seam. I've used a visible seam so you can see what I've done. You iron it all the way flat, fold one end, fold it in like so, and you want to place your rubber band right into the side you folded and place a pin just there like so. You want to stitch it straight down Once we do that, we'll be right back. I'm back. I've stitched the extra bit to the elastic. As you can see, I used a zigzag stitch. Remember to have the bit with the inside seam placed inside, basically, so that when you turn your fabric around, this bit should be facing your back, basically. So what you want to do now, this is the trickiest bit of this top which I've made. What you want to do now is have your top bit, have the top bit open and slip in the back bit which you've already made. So the back bit and the front bit should have their right side facing each other. That's what you want to do. Then you want to place the sides of each of them together. So what you're going to do is you're going to stitch this and stitch this. Do it for the both of them. But before you do that, you need to decide if you want your back strap to be cross or if you want it to be straight down. I want mine to be cross. So this section here for this strap is going to join. I'm going to try and fix it to this point here. To this point here. So this strap from this side is going to be joined to this bit here, just by the armhole, to give it some strength. So I'm going to put it in, take out the pins and fix it in. And this particular one here is going to be on this other side. So I'm going to do that and I'll be back. So what I've done is I've placed my strap into the armhole, and just below the armhole rather, not into the armhole. And I've placed the second bit here, and when I raise it up, this is what you should have. You should have something similar to this. Yeah, I'm going to turn this right side out so you have a feel of what I've done. Okay, you want to have something similar to this when you turn it right side out. So at the end of the day, you're going to have everything tucked in into the fabric, into one seam, and that way it gives it a very clean finish. And at the end of the day, everything is going to be inside the fabric, in between, so you're not going to have seam locking around, basically. So we're going to stitch this and come back. Don't worry about this bit, we're going to fix it. At the end of the day, it's all about you making it to suit your body type, guys. So once you've stitched all the sides together, what you want to do now is try it on. And when you try it on, if the back is too loose, what you want to do is fold it an inch and stitch all the way down. But as you get towards the end, reduce the size of the inch you've taken. So this is what I've done. I reduced the side all the way down, but if you look here, it's quite bigger up the top. Do the same for the second side. The next step now will be to attach the front bit. It's going to be hard for me to show how I'm going to attach the front bit, but I'm going to pin it on first and show you, because I'm literally holding my phone and making this video. First time video ever, but we'll see how it goes. Hold on, I'll be back. So what I've done is I've torn my fabric right side out, and I've taken the first rectangular bit of my bottom, and my bottom piece, not my bottom. So I've taken that bit and I've attached one end to the front bodice, basically. So you just need to pin it and stitch from here to here, just about 5 inches stitches long. Don't make it so long, because you just want to give it that, you just want to grip it and hold it there for the meantime. So that's the idea. Then the longer half circle, similarly you do the same. Place it similar, back bits should be opposite together so you don't make any mistake. Then you place it as well on the front bodice, pin it and sew to about here, to about the dart there, and we'll come back and I'll show you the next step. Once you're done stitching up to this point here, you turn it wrong sides out and you pin it in such a way that you can see here the pin should be in line with the seam here. So you're going to stitch all the way from here. Remember to lock your seam down here. sew it all the way down to about this point. You do similar to this side. Pin it together and make sure you sew all the way down to about this side. Then the next video will be to show you how I pinned up my pleats. So once you have your fabric wrong side out, what you're going to do is to start making pleats. So this is the section where I've sewn from here to here. So I've basically just made some pleats and I've joined the rectangular side to the half circle side, this bit here. So I'm going to stitch all the way here. I folded the back as well. I've hemmed it. So I'm going to stitch everything together and we're done. So once you're done stitching all around the hem and round it, you'll have this. Right, so the best thing to do in this situation to conceal all the hidden seam is to sew the lining together with this bit like I've done so. And this is what you will have. I'm going to show you how it looks when I style it and on my mannequin. Thank you, bye! So this is the finished product.